Hello, my name is Frank Bopp. I'm the Assistant Cub Master for Pack 26 in Barnegat, New Jersey. Now, I've been involved with scouting for more than 30 years, and in that time I've been faced with my share of uncomfortable situations. While I believe that I've been able to make good decisions and come up with proper solutions to those situations, I have often wondered what the official opinion would be about those decisions should someone review my responses. I'm confident in my ability to make a moral decision and come up with a response that would probably be acceptable to someone who would review it. I mean, let's face it, we all have that ability. If we didn't, we wouldn't have been entrusted with the positions that we have. I have often wondered, however, sometimes out loud, what the consequence might be for me or what the consequences might be for my unit if the response I have is seen as improper or inadequate. What I'm talking about is a topic that may or may not be foreign to you. I'm talking about the presence of alcohol at scouting activities. While it may seem easy to make a moral judgment on this topic, it's important to realize that some situations are not quite as black and white as others. What we would like to talk about are these gray areas, where questions of what reaction is appropriate might arise. We looked at the training offered to scout leaders and realized that this topic may not have been addressed quite as directly as we would have liked. While the issues may have been mentioned, we thought that perhaps not enough attention has been devoted to these potential problems. This video is our attempt to help you, as leaders, to understand what we, as a council, believe are appropriate responses to these incidents. What you will see are a series of scenarios where these questions arise. You will be able to discuss amongst yourselves what a proper response to those situations should be, and then we will present to you what we believe an appropriate response is. We ask that while you watch to try to put yourselves in the shoes of the person tasked with making the decision on what is a proper response, someone whose decision might be reviewed at a later time. With that in mind, here's our first scenario. What a day.
Finally put my feet up.
I know, right? Well, at least we got a lot done. We got a lot done, but it's just like, you know, you come to family camping, you want every single one to have a little relaxation.
Yeah, that fresh air and walking. Should sleep good tonight.
Yeah, so, you know, it's supposed to be camping, is supposed to be going out with your kid and relaxing a little bit, doing some stuff, but you gotta be kidding. Just, it's insane. It's insane. What a day. But at least they're asleep.
Yeah, they had fun. They got some stuff accomplished.
It's our time now.
Thank goodness.
On that note, I brought some stuff for us.
Oh, here you go.
For daddy time. We're gonna have ourselves a little thingy here.
Cheers.
Oh my God. What a long day. Oh, that's nice.
Go leader now.
Oh, hey!
Fire's going, all right.
Yeah, what's happening, dude? What's happening?
What's going on here?
Oh, we're just having a few. The kids are sleeping, you know.
Relaxing one day.
No big deal. What do you think the Cub Master's reaction should be? He's come upon a group of adults who are all of legal age, sitting around a campfire during their PAX family camping trip, after the scouts are asleep, having a drink. Take some time to discuss it, then move on to the next slide when you're ready for what we consider to be a proper response. Yeah, we're just having a few.
Guys, I really don't think that's a good idea.
What are you talking about? Dude, we were at your house like last week, and you had like, you must have had, I'm telling you, you were doing like Jello shots and stuff. You gotta be kidding.
Kids are asleep.
You're one of the biggest partiers I know.
Well, look, my house is a BSA property, and it's a little bit different. Out here at Scout Camp, it's against the rules. You guys should know better. I think you guys got to get rid of this stuff right away. Whether you pack it up or bring it into the car or whatever, it's not appropriate here at camp.
Really? You want us to take this all the way back out to the car?
Yeah, it's just if a camp master comes in, it's just not appropriate. I know you guys aren't getting trashed or anything, but we just can't have it here at camp. So do me a favor, when I come back, make it disappear, right guys? Thank you.
This is one of those situations where it should be somewhat simple to make the proper decision. There are scouts in camp and the leaders have an obligation to ensure their safety. Alcohol, even a small amount, has no place because it will inhibit the leader's ability to care for the scouts. Possessing alcohol, especially in those circumstances where you are responsible for the safety of scouts, can land you in trouble. Think of how you might feel if the person who was responsible for your son's safety was drinking on duty. Our duty is to those scouts, and we should remember that we hold a sacred trust to ensure their safety when we take a position as a scout leader. If the violation takes place on council property, the violator could be forced to leave and might be banned from attending future events. How would that affect your ability to produce a quality program for your boys? Now, would it make a difference if there were no scouts in camp? Take the following scenario as an example. 3 leaders are attending an adults-only training event held by their council at a scout camp. I don't know, man. It's a long day. We did a lot. Got a lot accomplished.
A lot of information.
A lot. I mean, we started like 6 o'clock in the morning? Ended up at like,
Go.
oh gosh, I don't think I'm going to even go to bed until like 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't think I'm going to get, I might if I get any sleep.
That's nice though. At least they got the work done with the lane.
That's true, they're still working on it, but at least they got the work done. That's insane, but I'll tell you what, I feel like I got a lot out of it. I feel like I'm gonna get something out of it and take it back to my
Bring
client.
it back to our pack.
And I'm feeling really kind of excited. I was like kind of depressed and real sad, but that's good. I'm glad we got through it, It was good. It was good. You know what? I kind of want to, I brought something to celebrate a little bit. Nice, man. What you got?
That's good.
That's good stuff. For us, training. Joe! Hey, buddy. What'd you think?
Hey,
You having a good time?
I'm still in uniform. I had to go to a patrol. I'm like 40 years old. I'm going to patrol leader meeting.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hey, you want some? We're celebrating.
Just in time.
It's been a long day, but no, I'm good.
In this scenario, there are no scouts to account for, so what should the response be? Go ahead and discuss your options. When you're ready to move on to the next slide, we will discuss what we believe should be a proper response. Something we want you to consider, though, is even if the Cub Master does not partake, does he have an obligation to act when he discovers the other's behavior? Anyway, I can't wait to get this and go back in my pack and use some of this stuff. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Joe!
Oh,
Joe, hey, bud! Hey!
Just in
Hey!
time.
Hey, we're relaxing a little bit. What do you think? What do you think of the training, dude?
Team training is awesome. I'm tired. I am mentally spent. But yeah, good training.
Good stuff.
training.
Good stuff. Hey, you want some? Hey, take a hit.
I don't think that's appropriate or a good idea, to be honest. I don't know.
Oh, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Well, because I know there's no kids here, but it's a scout camp, we're still technically bound to the scout rules, and that's against the rules, man.
What do you mean? So who's going to say anything? What's the big deal? What can happen?
At the end of the day.
I know, but we've just been through all the training and about living the values, and it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right.
I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal.
I think it's best to put it away, guys. Seriously.
This scenario is significantly different from the first because there are no scouts to worry about, creating a bit of a gray area. An argument might be made that grown adults standing in a parking lot drinking, if they are of legal age, are not hurting anyone. That may be true, but that's not at issue here. The policy enacted by the BSA National Council regarding the consumption of alcoholic beverages is spelled out pretty clearly in the BSA's Guide for Safe Scouting. The guide states the following in reference to the National BSA policy. It is the policy of the Boy Scouts of America that the use of alcoholic beverages and controlled substances is not permitted at encampments on property owned or operated by the Boy Scouts of America or at any activity involving the participation of youth members. Following that guideline, drinking in a parking lot on Scout property would constitute a violation of BSA policy. While it can be said that each adult is responsible for their own actions, if a leader observes someone else violating the policy, they should feel obligated to act on it. If they do nothing, they may be held just as responsible as the person who violated the guideline. Would it make a difference if the event were held off of BSA property? Consider this scenario. 3 leaders in uniform attending a round table at a restaurant with no scouts. Take a moment to discuss it, then move on to the next slide when you're ready. This scenario is not quite as black and white as the others, so it merits closer examination. There are no scouts at the event, and it is off of scout property. The policy states that alcohol cannot be present at a scouting event on scout property, and especially not when kids are present. Neither of these situations exist, so what is the issue? Well, we all need to remember that we live in a camera phone world, where everything we do can appear on the internet in a matter of moments. It would take nothing for someone to take a picture of a scout leader in uniform at a restaurant drinking a beer, then paste it all over the internet with the caption, "Who needs bug juice? Scout leaders drink beer." Even if the person pictured were unaware of the photograph, doesn't it seem that this might cause a problem? It would seem that the best course of action, whether on Scout property or not, whether in uniform or not, is to leave alcohol out of the equation. Even if the consumption of alcohol is not tied to any safety concern, it should never be tied to the Scouting name. In uniform, not in uniform, on Scout property or off, looking back at what we reviewed, it would seem the answer would be pretty clear. Anytime the Scouting image could be called into question, adding alcohol can only cause a problem. There is one other situation that we thought of that might come up that might warrant a little closer examination. How about when you, as a Scout leader, approach a parent who is already intoxicated?
Bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my shit to the levee like the levee would die. Good morning.
There you go.
Hey, what's up, man?
All right. Settling down, I see.
Oh, yeah, just enjoying the fire, man.
I see you're enjoying more than the fire tonight.
Dude, deserve it, man. All those kids fishing and the hooks and a lot of stuff.
I like a beer myself, but at home, not on Scout property.
What's the problem, man?
Problem is kids around on Scout property. It's not a good idea. It's not Scout-like.
Dude, don't tell me what to do, man. It's been a long day. I'm having a couple of beers, and I didn't even drink that much, man.
Yeah, I can tell.
Look, man, don't get in my face. Just having a couple of beers.
No, I can't.
What do you think the response should be here? The father is obviously intoxicated and causing a scene. What would you do? Discuss your response, then go to the next slide when you're ready.
Listen, I'm not here to fight with you. I'm here to have a good time with you. Enjoy the experience of scouting. Maybe you should just sleep it off.
Maybe you should just mind your business.
This is my business. You're on reservation property.
Well, I ain't hurt nobody, man.
Yeah, but I'm concerned about you, too.
You know what? Fine. Night.
All right, good night.
Obviously, the safety of the Scouts and their families is of paramount importance. We can't forget that sending a kid home with an intoxicated parent doesn't serve any purpose other than exposing an innocent kid to an unnecessary danger. We also need to remember that doing so could open you and the council as a whole to significant liability. Think of being in court when an attorney asks, "So, Mr. Cubmaster, you knew that Mr. Jones was drinking and you told him he had to put his child in a car and drive him home?" This scenario also begs the question about how much of a scene are you willing to make in front of the Scouts. We recognize that responses will differ in each case based on the circumstance. As long as you make an effort to correct the issue and not ignore it, you should be fine. Make sure that you notify someone about the incident and that you intend to deal with it. If nothing else, they will know that you take the matter seriously. Now let's review. The policy set out by the BSA National Council says that alcohol is not permitted at any scouting event that takes place on BSA property, especially in those instances where youth participants are present. While it is not specifically mentioned in the policy, we need to remember that there are more than enough reasons for the participants in a scouting event off BSA property, but while still in uniform, to avoid the consumption of alcoholic beverages. Violations of that policy exposes us to serious liabilities and tarnishes the image of the BSA. What is at issue is not only the safety of the Scouts, nor simply concern over the legality of the behaviors. What we need to recognize is that while we may legally purchase and consume alcoholic beverages, we have an obligation to protect the image of the Boy Scouts of America. If you see someone who is violating the policy, you have a duty to do something about it. We are all charged on our honor to be trustworthy in moving scouting forward in the right direction, and if we fail in that, we will be held accountable for that failure. While it may be uncomfortable to be the person tasked with stopping these behaviors, we need to accept that it is our responsibility to act, and if we do not, we will be called to the board just like those who have committed the offense. Now, don't misunderstand what we're trying to say to you. We believe you must do something, but logically that something might be different in different situations. When you confront someone who has alcohol and has consumed an amount of that alcohol, telling them to leave is not sensible and can open you up to serious liability issues. What if a parent decided to fight back and made a scene? What would you be willing to do with a group of Scouts standing around watching you? Doing something could be as simple as reporting the incident to the camp master, or perhaps to your district executive. Maybe it would involve a discussion with your PAC committee where banning the offending party from future PAC events may come into play. Bottom line is, when others look at the incident involving alcohol at a scouting event, if they know that you are aware of the situation, you are not ignoring it, and that you are making an effort to deal with it, then your obligation should be fulfilled. What we hope is that you take this back to your units and carry this information to share with the other leaders. Scouting's future is bright, and we want you to be part of it. If you have any questions about what we went over, please don't hesitate to call the council office. The guiding principle should be that if you're in a situation that could be detrimental to the scouting image, you have an obligation to do something about it. If you don't, even if you don't get caught, then you are violating your duty, to which we have all pledged our honor. Thanks for joining us for this short review. Remember, the example that we set is the image of scouting that our boys will carry with them. Let's all do our best to ensure that image is a good one. Don't just teach the values of scouting, live them as well. I'll see you on the trails.